Hello, this is a tutorial for Nonnie Noo Creations hooking mug rug. It complements the happy hooker in the hoop zipper bag that Sylvia designed. I just wanted to show you the items that you will need to do the design. First of all, you will need to hoop some medium weight tearaway in your hoop. It's a 5x7 design, but I like to use the 6x10 hoop, so I've got plenty of space. Then we have two pieces of fabric of the same size, 6x8 inches. This is for the front and this is for the back. And then we have two pieces of fabric for the sides that are measuring 6x2 inches. And a piece of batting. This is warm and natural. You can use what you like, but batting, which is 5x7 for the exact size. And then these are the thread colours I'm using. And I've used the bobbin the same colour as the main thread that I'm using, so the seams and everything will look nice and neat. And then of course we've got the obvious of the machine and scissors and so on. But they're the basic things that you need to stitch the design. Okay, we've started by putting the bobbin in the bobbin case. And now I shall put the hoop on. And I'm going to stitch out the placement line for the batting. So that's the placement stitching done, and now we need to put the batting on. And what I'm going to do is use some temporary spray adhesive, which I will spray away from the machine onto the back of the batting. And you don't need too much if you choose to use it. I like to use it because it keeps the design in place while it stitches the rest of it. And then we've got the top layer of fabric to go on. And again, I'm just going to spray a little bit of spray adhesive on. Don't need to use too much. And I like to just fold the fabric in half, just to make sure I'm getting it across properly. And if you use the lines on your hoop for the halfway point, you're pretty sure to get it in the correct place for stitching. So that's that, and now I will stitch the tack down stitching to keep it all in place. You can, instead of using temporary spray adhesive, you can use a little bit of masking tape or painter's tape around the edges to keep the fabric in place. Or if you're feeling brave, you can hold on to it, but obviously keep your fingers out of the way. So that's nice and tacked down now. And the next part is the stippling to do, and I'm going to do it in the same colour thread for the background. So I'm going to start stitching, but I'm not going to keep filming because it'd be very boring for you. So I'll just start it off and then I'll pause the video and come back to it when it's finished. The stippling is now finished, and it's now time to stitch the placement lines for the side pieces of fabric. Okay, so now we need to put the fabric down on top. Just going over the placement line by about 1/4 of an inch. You don't want to go too far. So place that down, and I will be using some masking tape to hold them in place. Just keeps them nice and taut as well. And the same for the other side. And now we need to stitch the tack down lines. Okay, so that's the tack down done, and I'm just going to remove the masking tape, but keep hold of it for a second, and then you just want to fold the fabric back over and using your fingers press it. You don't need to iron it or anything. A finger press is perfectly good, and you don't have to be super strong. And the same on this side. And that's that. And then I want to change the thread now because I'm going to start doing the wording, the lettering. So I'm going to use a nice hot pink. And again, I'm not going to video the whole lot stitching out, so I'll come back when it's finished this first part of the stitching. So the first lot of wording's finished stitching. I've moved my camera down because I think it's got a better view, so I apologise if the previous view wasn't very good. Now I'm going to stitch the hooking word in a different colour, a darker pink. And again, I'm not going to keep it on the video. I'll just show you which comes next, and we will come back shortly. Okay, hooking finished stitching. I've changed the thread back to this colour, and I'm going to stitch the last wording here. And then we're going to be on the last part. The last bit of the wording stitched out. Now I've changed my thread to the grey to stitch out the crochet hooks on either side of the side pieces. So we finished all the stitching now. The crochet hooks are stitched nicely. just going to remove that masking tape so that we don't have too much on, because I'll be putting more on in a moment. Now we have the piece of fabric that we're going to put on the back, only for the design we'll put it on the front. I have a pattern that has to be the right way up, so I want to make sure it's the right way up. And you place this over the top on the front of the design, not the back. So it's face down on top of everything you've stitched. And that's the masking tape. And I've changed the thread again to the same colours that I've been using for the fabric, just so that the seams look nice and there's no, you know, hot pink fabric that's showing through or anything. And that's it, and we stitch the final outline. It will leave an opening there, so it'll start here, go all the way around and stop there. That's all the stitching done. So what I'm going to do next is take the stabiliser out, remove all the tearaway stabiliser from around the edging, and then I'm going to trim 1/4 of an inch away from the stitching, and I'll come back to you when I've done that. I would just like to say that for the backing fabric, if you wanted to put a message on the mug rug, say if you're giving it to your mum or your grandma or something, you could actually put the backing piece of fabric on your hoop, on a piece of stabiliser, and using any software you have, you can create a message such as, you know, to mum, happy Mother's Day, love so and so. You can stitch that out and then just put it on the, like this has, just lay it face down, and then when you turn it inside out, the message will be there on the back. So it's just a nice little personal touch you can do. Okay, I will be back shortly when I show you what I've done. Okay, I've trimmed around the edge. You can see here where the opening is, leave this extra bit of fabric so it folds in and stays in, doesn't keep popping out. So trim all the way around the edges, 1/4 of an inch seam, and on each corner cut across diagonally. This stops the bulk. When you turn it, it stops having all that bulk in the corner, otherwise the fabric has to go somewhere and it will all sit there bunched. So then all you've got to do now is turn it the right way out. It can be a little bit fiddly, but not too bad. You can use the, I call them the surgeon's scissors, those grabbers, hermetic or something they're called. I'm not really sure what they're called. You can use them to pull the rest of it through, which I'm just going to do. These are them, they're like clamps. and you just slip it in. Grab it and pull it through. Try and go further in. To be honest, I get on better with out. Brute force, I call it. There you go. And now you can use them. They'll work better now that you've got both the corners in. It clamps them and you can just pull them the right way out. Oops. I'm making a bit of a meal of it, but I do have arthritis in my hands, so I do struggle with some strength. I'm sure you'll find it easier if you don't have arthritis, and if you do, you can see that I've managed to do it, so it's not too bad. And now I was just looking for my turners. That's it, looking for my tool to poke the corners. I mean, you can use anything, of course, but I'm a bit of a gadget nut and I love having tools for the job. But chopsticks would do, a narrow handle, wooden knitting needle. I don't recommend the metal ones because they can actually pierce a hole, but a wooden knitting needle's fine, or a crochet hook. You can use all sorts to do the job. Nearly finished. I don't know if I've got this in the camera, to be honest. So busy looking at this. There. And then what I will do is give it a little press. The ends are folded in nicely. Look, I couldn't find them. You can just either slip stitch the ends, or you could use the sealing product, and I can't think of the name of it now, but it's like Heat and Bond Light or products like that. I'm going to have to look at it. I'm going to have to find the name of it now because it's going to irritate me. Steamer seam, that's it. If you can use the steamer seam, which is brilliant, and it's quite narrow, and that will stick it down perfectly if you don't like hand sewing. I tend to do a little bit of both. I use that and I do a few slip stitches. So that's that. I shall just give it a press and finish it off, and then I will just show you the end result. And there we have the final result. Absolutely wonderful design, really nice, and the back all neat, and that's the closure. So yes, lovely. I hope you enjoy making it like I did, and it doesn't take long at all.